Hello, my name is Adonis and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a general love reading for all of my Gemini out there for the month of March. So let's get after it. Okay. Sun, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Sun, Moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Sun, Moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Sun, Moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Show me the cards I need to see. Show me the cards that I need to see. What kind of love or energy coming towards my Geminis during the month of March? What kind of love or energy is coming towards my Geminis during the month of March? Show me the cards. One will fall out, so we're definitely going to take that one. Show me the cards that I need to see. Okay, there we go. Interesting. All right, so we are dealing with an earth sign individual here, Capricorn, Taurus, or a Virgo. Okay, now this individual is being very strategic, okay? Methodical, strategic, interchangeable terms here with how they're going about trying to approach you, okay? Now, it may appear that they're kind of slow moving because, again, Knights of Pentacles, it's all about kind of taking their time, if you will, to kind of make to get the best results of their situation. But this is an individual that's kind of taking their time, gradually moving towards you. Now, with that being said, this person is looking for an equal give and take. Okay, they're looking to have a sense of moderation. All right, so this person is definitely in this, in for looking to pursue a relationship that's fair across the board. Okay. They're willing to put the work in. We got the Eight of Pentacles. They're willing to put the work in to make it work. Okay? They're willing to put the work in to make it work. They've done a lot of soul searching, self-reflecting. So they really put the time, and they didn't come to this realization lightly. So they've done the internal work they need to do on themselves, in other words, to get the most optimal result for themselves. Also, it's taken a great amount of strength, okay, passion for them to move forward. So, that's probably why it's taken this individual. They're kind of slow walking this a little bit because they want to make sure they do it right. They don't want to just rush into it. They're not trying to chase you away. They're trying to do it right the first time, okay? Because they're really trying to stick the landing with this. In addition, here we have an air sign individual, okay? Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius energy here. Now this individual is again another individual that is very they're approaching the situation slow, but they're approaching it. So one individual is approaching it slow because they want to be sure. Okay, so that's why they're kind of approaching it slow. They're being very strategic with how they approach. Air sign individual, not so much. They're approaching, they're kind of slow walking it a bit because they're certain, they're positive. There's no doubt in their mind that they, once you get to know them, once they really come into your space, they're going to achieve what they're trying to achieve. In other words, they're approaching this with a sense of mental clarity. Okay. Because they realize that there are other choices here. We got the Seven of Cups. There are other choices here. Some of the other choices may be kind of illusionary, okay? But they know once, they're confident because they're approaching it from a clear perspective that once you get to know them, once you guys really get to know each other, it's going to be a surefire bet. Also, they're approaching it with a sense of transparency. Okay, they don't have anything to hide. Okay, so they're being completely upfront about what their intentions are. And their intentions are long-term commitment. The Hierophant card here. Long-term commitment, possibly even marriage. Okay? So, with that being said, let's see what type of blockages. Potential blockages are my Gemini dealing with here? What kind of potential blockages are my Gemini dealing with? What potential blockages are my Gemini dealing with? What potential blockages are my Gemini dealing here? Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, that feels good. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Potential blockage is here. Okay, so first off, we have the hermit card here. So, as I said, that there was a certain amount of soul searching that has been done by the Earth sign individual, but there, you know, the soul searching really has. When a person does some soul searching, what that really, in essence, means is they've taken the full measure, the full stock of the situation. So they've looked at, their part in the situation, but they also looked at how other people are interacting with the situation. And so there may not be a full understanding yet of how all the pieces are fitting together. Okay, so that's how it could be perceived as a blockage. Furthermore, we got the page of Pentacles here. That represents communication, okay? Real communication. And so because because people are being very careful about how they communicate, so they're not taken out of context. People, so that people understand they mean what they say what they mean. So people are really being very careful about how they come off and the things they say. Now here, that's good. That's great. But here, this is how this potentially becomes an issue. Um, it's devoid of emotion. It's very, very mechanical. Okay, very lethargic sounding. Okay, and so whereas sometimes sometimes when you're being very careful and strategic with how you articulate yourself, those particular words sometimes, depending on what your cadence is like, lacks um, lacks emotion. Okay, lacks any kind of emotion. Now, if you use your, like I do, I talk with my hands, with my face, with my body. I communicate. But if you're kind of like a stiff individual and you're kind of talking and your cadences are kind of like, you can be in a world of hurt because you can say, hey, I love you, and they're like, you do, so you're the full weight of how you're communicating isn't really coming through. So that could be problematic. In addition, it's about wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups, having your wish fulfilled. And again, if your intentions um, lack cadence, if you will, if you're being too careful, again, you're not going to be able to have your wishes fulfilled. Wish fulfillment meaning you want to find that person you want to spend a considerable amount of time with potentially for the rest of your life. Okay. Also, as I said, we got the Strength card. Lack of strength, lack of courage, lack of passion, lack of no emotion here. Okay. In addition, here is an aspect of Two of Pentacles. Okay, being able to juggle, being able to multitask at the same time, being able to have a good personal life, also being able to focus in on just overall task of going to work, being able to balance the two, and this may prove to be kind of difficult. Also, he got the Four Pentacles, looking for an assured success, looking to come as close to assured success as possible. Well, that may prove to be kind of difficult if there is a lack of passion here, if there is a lack of real understanding, like words, the word rhetoric and actions, are two entirely different things, and the words need to match the actions. Okay, so you don't want to be a whole lot of bark with no bite at all. Also, finally, we have the Ten of Wands. That represents an individual that wants to have their burdens, a removal of burdens here. And that could possibly, you know, there may be difficulty having the burden removed as far as really understanding where a person's coming from, because again, as I said, I'm gonna say it again for like the fifth time, the lack of passion, because everybody's trying to be real careful about how they come off, and they're more worried about everybody seems to be more worried about um, their more worrying about how they come off, which is important, but there's too much emphasis on a person's looks and what they're saying as opposed to what they're really meaning. Okay, and so that could turn out to be burdensome. So with all that being said, let's see what their strengths are. What are the potential strengths of this situation? What potential strengths are we dealing with here, Gemini? What are the potential strengths of this situation? What are the potential strengths of this situation here? I'm believing I knew where things need to go here, but hey. So, first out the gate, we have the Knight of Swords. So that's moving very rapidly towards one's passions, and it is a cutting energy, okay? A fast-moving cutting energy. So, with that being said, there is definitely, things are going to be ruled in and ruled out quickly. So even though there is again, these are all strengths here. Maybe there may be a lack of, because everyone's so worried about how they come off, things are going to be ruled in and ruled out quickly. Okay, so that is definitely a positive. Also, we have the Three of Wands here. So basically, just kind of waiting, even though things are kind of set, just kind of waiting for one's ships to come in here. Just kind of put some things out there, some fillers out there, and then just kind of waiting to see what's going to come over that horizon there. Also, there is this, there is this aspect here of kind of taking that leap of faith, if you will, kind of putting it out there, okay? And finally, and this is what I find really interesting about this, because these are all strengths here. Remember I said things are going to be ruled and ruled out pretty quickly? Got the ruination of plans here, 10 of Swords, ruination of plans. And we also got the Tower card here as well. You may be thinking to yourself, how could that potentially be a strength? How is the Tower card and the 10 of Swords potentially be a strength? And here's how. At some point in your particular situation, you most likely experience potential heartache, potential betrayal, and a potential Tower moment where there was to a point a relationship was going smooth, then at some point, bam, everything just kind of changed instantly. And you can, if you think about it hard enough, you could probably pinpoint the exact time, the exact day. You can narrow it down to a day or a number or circumstances that were close proximity of one another. And so the reason this is a strength is because, again, this Knight of Swords energy. Remember I said it's going to be fast-moving, cutting energy. And so even though there may be a lack of emotion and compassion, you're going to be able to pretty much pull out who you think is worth your time and who is not, so that you're not wasting a lot of time spending an absorbent amount of resources and time with someone that you're not really feeling. So that's why it's important. This is a strength there. If someone remotely begins to kind of manifest behaviors that are similar to what you've experienced in terms of having heartbreak, or deception, you're going to pick up on that and you're going to cut that out immediately. So there's going to be no hesitation with that. Okay, so with that being said, let's see what additional information Spirit wants to give before I shut this thing down. What additional information the Spirit wants to give before I shut this thing down? What additional information the Spirit wants to give before I shut this thing down? Okay, here we go. So, expand your consciousness to behold both worlds. Be the bridge. So basically, Spirit's saying, basically expand your horizons, kind of and what you are doing, you're doing it anyway, but kind of be that bridge, kind of even though there may be this lack of emotion because everybody's worrying about how they're coming off, kind of reach out there, kind of, be that bridge, you be that person that emphasizes what you're looking for, what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept. Because again, people are trying to put their best foot forward. Okay, you're the prize; they're coming for you, and they're trying to put their best foot forward. So, maybe if you kind of send them, if you're interested in these potential love interests here, kind of like give them a lifeline, if you will, kind of make it a little bit easier for them to kind of like kind of relax a little bit so that they can be their authentic selves, so you can get a real beat of exactly who they are. All right. Also, we have redream the situation. Redream the situation, which is kind of take a step back. You know, there's the way that you thought things were going to be, and then there are the way things actually are. Okay. And as we all being humans, we always have a tendency to kind of see things the way that we want to, when in reality they're completely different. So, uh, you know, maybe you may want to kind of step back from the situation a little bit, give it a little bit of room to breathe. Again, extend, make that bridge, extend that, you know, extend that ability for people to kind of, you know, kind of ease up a little bit, just kind of be themselves, okay? And also, finally, we have own your mastery. And so what that basically means is, you know, you're the one, you're the prize, own it, you know, so you have control of the situation, and you know, you have the ability to make everyone feel pretty much comfortable in the situation. So, with that being said, I'm going to shut this thing down now. A little bit of housekeeping real quick. There are a few of you that have not been able to view my videos after I drop them, especially if you have Apple devices, okay? So I am in communication with YouTube. Apparently this has happened to other YouTubers that are relatively new, again, a year and a half. I've been around, and so, you know, they're kind of like, okay, well, you know, they're working on resolving the issue. But in the meantime, what you can do is you can use a different device if you have a device other than Apple. Any Apple devices, most likely, not with all my videos, but with some of them, you know, it'll be an issue. Easier way to do it, if all you have is an Apple device, just Google my name, okay, Adonis Tarot, and that will take you to a bunch of stuff on Google about my name or whatever. There'll be a YouTube there. Just tap into YouTube. It's a backdoor way into my channel. All you got to do is hit my videos, and bang, all my videos will be lined up for you. So that's an easy way to do it. Maybe take a little bit of extra work, but I'm sorry, guys, that's the best I can do under the circumstances. But if you are one of the many that do not have a problem at all, keep doing what you're doing. I love your support, and I will definitely see you next time. Bye-bye.